Hey everyone, Amy Tasukada here. I'm the author of the amazing The Yakuza Path series, which is very fun and exciting. If you hear a jingly bell hopping around and some noise, that could possibly be my cat O'Hara, who is very interested in what's going on. And if I shut her away from here, you would hear a faint meowing at the door. This is my first time doing this. It might be the first in a while. It might be a monthly or a weekly thing. I'm not sure. But I figured, you know what? Let's try this. This is where I'm just going to give you an audio update about what's been going on. It's been so long, I feel, since I have done any kind of thing like this. I figure I'm going to first put this on Patreon and then much later put it on my YouTube channel because that has died. It's so interesting how different phases of your life you're very into different things. So it's interesting. But let's continue. I'm Amy. Where have I been? I think the last time I feel like I made any kind of like grand thing that people would notice would be I published my last book, which was not Finding Our Love. It was My Heart's Desire. And that was really cute. I thought it was the very best book I could write at the time. And I do think it has a nice, interesting story. I loved the art and the art message in that book. That was not the book that got published. That was Finding Our Love. Oh my, how horrible am I that I can't remember what happens in some of my books. Oh no. Ah, you're losing faith in me more and more as an author. But let's get to you. I wrote the second Yakuza romance story, which was between the Secretary of June and the tailor for basically now and Aki and all the higher up Yakuzas, which was a lot of fun to write. I think you could probably see a bit of my experience during the job hunt into that. And I remember editing, trying to cut some of this out because I had some workers write stuff going in there, and maybe too much of myself was in there. But I am really happy with the book, and it was the best book I could write. So anyway, what's been going on? I've been working on the next Yakuza Path book, which I know everybody loves dearly. It is the seventh book in that series, and it's really good, guys. I really like it. I think I did an amazing job. Right now, it is 92,000 words, which means nothing to a lot of people, but it is 360 pages. I had to do some quick math there. I'm really excited about it. It is much longer than my other books. I'm still working on it. I give myself like 1,000 and then no more Amy because that is way too much. Had the outline editor that I always have, and then I hired a development or editor. There was just like a chapter which at the time was halfway through the book, and I just knew it wasn't working. And I have this thing where like when I know a chapter isn't working, I I just kind of freeze, and then I start like getting annoyed. And I tried really hard to figure it out on my own, and I think there comes a time like I have plotting friends and brainstorming friends that are other authors that I try with, but then I switched the point of view, but I knew the scene wasn't good because Aki and Nao, who are my two void point characters, weren't doing anything. Anyway, end of the story is I gave it to a new development editor for the whole entire story. She read everything and basically told me you need to add 10 more chapters, which was what happened. And adding those 10 chapters, meaning meant I had to rewrite all. I had to add 10 chapters and then rewrite 10 chapters. So therefore, I had to basically rewrite the second half of the book and add more to it, which the story is so amazing now. And then she also said, you need to add more sex scenes, which was really fun. Usually, I'm such a behind the door, kind of fade to black or just kind of vague mentions, but having it be so explicit was a very fun difference for me. But I'm excited. I have my line editor line up. I had to get a new line editor because the one I had basically retired from line editing, so that was that fun. It took me a while to find one, and I was getting worried there. I had one editor who was like, "What do you expect me to do with the seventh book in a series?" And I'm like, "Line edited." But I found one. I'm very excited for her. She used to edit for Harley Quinn and Simon and Schuster, so I'm really excited to see her feedback because I know, like, once you've written so many books, it's hard going to conferences and like getting like the most useful things out of conferences because there's just a lot of just basic stuff because conferences for writers, unless you go to a very specialized one, are not meant for you. They're meant for kind of newer people because the funner, gets smaller. There's not that many people who write 17, 16 books. So I found myself always reminding myself that, like, if I want to get better at writing, I do have to find these good editors to kind of level me up. So I really do hope to get this out by the end of the year, and I really hope to do it. And I don't want to say it's going to be out because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I got a back injury. This is like a random side story. I'll try to keep this under 10 minutes. But, like, backstory, when I was going to give it to the development editor, I, like, tore a disc in my spine. Like, less than a week before I was supposed to give it to her. So, like, I took off from my boring job, and which is the normal job because this does not pay enough for me to just write all day, and I really wish it could. And you could help by buying more books, but you guys are amazing, even just for listening to me ramble on a bit. I threw out my back. I already have two herniated discs that I got when I was 30, and then this injury was a torn disc in my spine somewhere else. And oh my, it hurt so badly. I had to get I got medicine, thankfully, and I had people there to help me out. But I was laying in bed and I'm like, well, I can't do anything else. So while I'm laying in bed, I am trying to finish the last half of the book to give to this development editor so she knows at least what I'm trying to go through for the rest of my book. And she was really sweet about, changing the date. Not that I needed to because I was going to get that done. Which is probably maybe not the best for health wise, but when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Which is why when I'm not sure, I say I hope it to get it done this year. But I thank you all so much for reading. I promise it is one of the best books I wrote. Like, I am so excited. Aki now and the Yakuza Path were such a series that I really, 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 really want to try my best on. It's the series that most people enjoy. It's always the top sellers. I want to do an amazing job. I want you to read this book and stop at every page and be like, wow, that was an awesome sentence. Because I love doing that for books. Ah, oh, it's so fun. But if you like this, I'll keep this up and talk about things that are going on or like things I'm watching. Like, I just finished watching Revolutionary Girl Utena. Oh my, you can see how much I fumble over my words. That was an anime that came out in the 90s, and I never saw it. I just knew that someone turns into a car, and that was the only thing I knew. And my husband had a picture of it in his bedroom. So like when we were dating in college, I would see it. So it made me really interested to see what it was. And we've been kind of watching more anime. I hate to say more old anime, but some new ones too. So it was very interesting. I did like it. It's such a good allegory for abuse and kind of absurdism a bit. So many times I got that theme song stuck in my head. The like walking up to the duelist stand. Oh, it got stuck in my head so much, so many days. I even once sent someone a text who knew I was watching it. This is like, this song's stuck in my head. I'm ready for my sword fight. Again, thank you so much. Thanks so much for your support. To my lovely Patreons, you get to hear this before everybody else. So we'll see how this goes. And maybe it might continue and maybe not. But it is grand for now. Thank you so much. Have a good day.